Capricorns, 2025 has already been quite the hectic year for you, but the good news is there's a lot of positive transits heading your way. And so while this horoscope is late, better late than never, right? So in today's video, I want to give you your complete guide to the rest of 2025 and recap what you have already been through in this year. So this is your complete 2025 horoscope. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and today we are talking about Capricorn's 2025 horoscope. Yes, it is very late to be filming this, but better late than never, right? So in today's video specifically, I am going to cover how 2025 has already played out for Capricorn, the major themes for Capricorn in the rest of 2025, specific upcoming transits in 2025 and how they will affect Capricorn, and how Capricorns can utilize these transits for growth and manifestation. So if you are someone who not only likes to take in the information of the stars, but know how to utilize it to live a life in alignment, watch through to the end of this video where I'm going to share some top tips for Capricorns to work with the energies present in the rest of 2025. If you want to get more detail on how exactly this year is playing out for you, including specific monthly transits, book a reading down in the link in the description below and check out my astrology coaching membership for personalized monthly guidance. First and foremost, how has 2025 already played out for you, Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Rising? Specifically Sun or Moon, since that's what I personally prefer to focus on in my interpretations. I'm going to start off by talking about Mars being retrograde in the sign of Cancer. From January 6th to February 23rd, roughly, Mars was retrograde in your opposite sign. And I think this heavily affected you. You started off the year likely with feeling like there are massive slowdowns in your business partnerships, friendships, and romantic life. Maybe even to the point that you're questioning what you should and shouldn't do in your romance, what you do and don't want in a partner, and if you even want a relationship. Relationships in general, the one-on-one relationships you have, were in the spotlight, and you're trying to question what exactly you want here. Now, while Capricorns try to take overall a very practical approach to life, it may have felt like in the beginning of 2025, you're questioning how much emotional fulfillment your relationships bring and how your emotions may be driving you underneath the surface. So you're questioning how to act in your relationships and what you should and shouldn't want. On top of it, at the beginning of the year, the North Node entered Pisces and the South Node entered Virgo, which is the ongoing major theme for you throughout the year. And probably the most important thing to note, I'll get to this more later, but given that the North Node entered Pisces and South Node entered Virgo on January 11th, during your birth time, happy late birthday, Capricorns, this accentuated maybe the need to grow your daily network and focus on embracing a more compassionate style of communication in your daily life. You're really focusing on the knowledge that you know this year, and you've been focused on this. The knowledge and information that you know, the personal beliefs that you follow, and how well you listen to others. Really, the focus for you so far this year may have felt like you've been contemplating language, contemplating words spoken, contemplating the dialogues that change your perception of your reality and how these impact others. So really there's a focus maybe on the words being spoken, simply put, for you. On a deeper level, this could have been also questioning if you need to move, change your daily network, change the people you surround yourself with, and if you just want to book it and go live on the road, is kind of the idea I've heard with a few Capricorns. Overall, that may have been a theme for you as well. I know I'm kind of speeding through these because I want to talk about the future for you, mainly Capricorns. Let me know if that resonated for you. There was also, in the month of March especially, Capricorns, you have been through the ringer in your family life, whether that is your family you were raised with, your siblings and your parents, or if this is the family you raise, or if this is simply put, the home you live in and the place you live. You've been through the ringer in your home and family life. Especially in March, we had a massive amount of transits in Aries, including Neptune entering Aries and going to be retrograde, Mercury in Aries and also being retrograde, Mercury going direct, Venus retrograde in Aries, and we had an eclipse on March 29th in Aries. The whole month of March may have felt like crises? I feel like that sounds wrong. An ongoing crisis in your home and family, feeling like you need to really initiate independent change here, potentially even to the point of conflict or to the realization that wanting independence in your home and family is not a bad thing because it's in alignment with your authentic self. And you may have been assessing the values of independence and authenticity within your home and family life. Hopefully you initiated a new change in your home and family around March 29th, or you're in the process of initiating authentic, independent change in your home and family and place of living. Let me know, Capricorns, did you end up moving, or are you now moving after this eclipse in Aries? I would love to hear that thought down in the comments below, because that's a potential interpretation. And also, you are assessing the values of your communication style. I already kind of touched on this with the North Node being in Pisces. You're focused on embracing more compassionate styles of communication, as well as focusing more on how your daily network makes you feel. And you may have been assessing these, reflecting on this, and introspecting on the value of your daily network and your daily communication, with Mercury having been retrograde in Pisces and Venus being retrograde in Pisces. So overall, there's been a lot going on for you, specifically Capricorns, in your home and family, in your relationships, in basically, it seems like all of your boundaries with your external connections. But there's a lot more positive in store in the year of 2025 for you Capricorns. Let me know if this is what you feel like you've currently been through in 2025. I want to take now, let's talk about where you're heading. This is, after all, your 2025 horoscope, not your 2025 introspection. So first and foremost, what are some of now the major themes for Capricorn in the rest of 2025? What I consider to be the major theme for Capricorn, while there are a lot of different transits happening, in the end, it seems like all transits play into the story of where the North Node is currently transiting. So again, the North Node is in Pisces in your third house, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and potentially rising. And so with that, you are releasing the personal beliefs that no longer serve you over the next 18 months until July of 2026. But for the rest of this year, there's a theme of releasing what no longer serves you in your personal beliefs, your ideologies, and your travels. There's potentially even more materialistic, too selfless, too critical beliefs around your personal beliefs that you need to release. Critical dialogue around your personal beliefs that needs to be released. And you're learning to embrace a smaller network instead of having to see everything, know everything, believe everything, acquire the information about everything. You're honing your focus more onto your daily network and your daily communication, and maybe even finding more spirituality in your daily communication process. Seeing that, in a sense, almost this idea that God is in everywhere, in everything, in every conversation, rather than that you have to find this sense of purpose in some external system outside of you. This is really a spiritual journey for Capricorns. It's a spiritual journey for us all because the North Node is in Pisces, which is a spiritual sign, very much so, accentuated. But overall, in the most simple interpretation, Capricorns, over the next 18 months roughly until July of 2026, and certainly for the rest of 2025, the major theme for you revolves around finding emotional bliss and harmony in your daily network and daily communication. This could be changing where you live, tying into the story that has played out since July of 2023 around where you live, but changing maybe what neighborhood you live in, changing your town, and making more of an impact in your daily network through the words that are spoken and how you make people feel. You're really being called to immerse yourself in a daily network and focus on your daily communications, in your words that you speak, in the learnings that you share. It's time for you to speak your truth. And this could, in many interpretations for some, mean writing a book, publishing a book, being a speaker, or sharing knowledge as a teacher as well. There's a focus on the words being spoken. And so overall, Capricorn, this is the major theme for you, is finding your place in your place to shine and how you can make an impact on the world by cultivating your emotional bliss and harmony and sharing from an inspired place. That is your major theme. Now, let's go into the rest of the transits that are going to be happening for Capricorns in the year of 2025 and how they will affect you. First and foremost, we have some transits happening with the planet Saturn. Saturn is doing some movements in and out of Aries. Saturn is our restriction. And so when Saturn is in Aries for you, Capricorn, while you have been for the last 2 years trying to cultivate some sort of new beginning in your home and family, potentially boundaries within your home and family, or aligning with authenticity, now you need to assert and remain disciplined to those boundaries. Saturn brings restriction, and I think this is a positive. When it goes retrograde specifically, you may be assessing the boundaries you've been making with family. But when Saturn enters Aries, I'm getting the impression, intuitive interpretation, I suppose, that Capricorns, you're going to be setting boundaries with family and setting restrictions around where you live. Maybe saying, I'm going to be setting this lease, I'm sticking to this lease, I'm committed to this place to live for this amount of time. And when Saturn goes retrograde, you may be backtracking, asking yourself, does this restriction serve me? Saturn, while it's often said to be a detrimental planet, it, one, is your ruler, so you feel this more heavily, and two, it represents the structure that we need, the strength that we need. So when Saturn enters Aries, roughly on May 25th, you may feel the call to be more disciplined about your home and family and staying aligned with your authenticity. And since it's your ruler, you may feel this more heavily. The desire to establish discipline, structure, and boundaries in your home life, your family life, your place of living can be felt very strongly. And when Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces on September 1st, you may be then shifting your focus away from boundaries within family and instead focusing on the discipline and the boundaries you need within your daily network. Who do you need to interact with? Who do you need to communicate with? Who do you let into your daily circle? This may be something that you are reflecting on and changing during this time when Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, assessing who you let into your bubble and who is best to keep out. Fast forward into June. On June 9th, a very exciting transit for you that can wrap up some stories that were playing out in January, February. Jupiter enters Cancer into your 7th house, your direct opposite sign on June 9th. This means that you are expanding in both spiritual and material ways your relationships, whether those are business partnerships, romantic relationships, or friendships. You can expect these all to expand once Jupiter enters Cancer. And this can feel like a relief from maybe the conflict and confusion you had in the beginning of the year with Mars being retrograde in this same sign. It can feel like I'm finally expanding after trying to assess what I really value in my relationships. Jupiter entering Cancer is very, very big for you. I do have a whole love reading where I talk about the best months for love for each sign, and Capricorns, I do believe June and July are the best months for your love life. So if you're interested in that, check out my video. I'll hopefully remember to put the timestamp up above, but if not, it's titled, I think it's just 2025 Love Horoscope for all signs. Best months for love for each sign. You can also, Capricorns, in the year of 2025, expect some unexpected change to your daily network, your daily routines and your daily schedules, and maybe even learning to work less, but with more capability, being valued for your expertise rather than for your time. The reason I say this is because Uranus enters Gemini on July 7th, where it will remain until November 7th of 2026, at which point it retrogrades back into Taurus to finish some unfinished business, and eventually will re-enter in Gemini, where it will stay, I believe, until 2033. So this is a long-term change. Over the last 7 years, we've had Uranus in Taurus, which is your 5th house, bringing unexpected changes and establishing greater structures by shaking up old structures in how you find pleasure and play. Maybe changing what you physically value, how you pursue pleasure and play, and your romantic life and how you find self-worth in all of this. With Uranus shifting into Gemini, into your 6th house, this brings a call to focus instead on It'll bring unexpected change to your daily routines, your health, and your habits for the sake of reminding yourself of your capability and how you can be valued potentially for your expertise in your work rather than your time, or to reel in your thinking so that you can be more healthy. Overall, there's changes to your health and your habits and your routines for the positive. Uranus is very fear-mongered as it brings unexpected change. But remember that Uranus brings unexpected change for the sake of innovation and so that you can align with your higher mind. So this is bringing new long-term changes to your way of thinking about your health and your habits, as well as your mental intellect, your learnings, and your capabilities. And finally, the last transit that is really major for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising to note in 2025 is in September. On the 7th and the 21st, I believe, we will have a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse in the signs of Pisces and Virgo, specifically a lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 7th and a solar eclipse in Virgo on September 21st. Now, throughout this year, as I said, the major theme is releasing the materialistic beliefs or materialistic approach to cultivating personal beliefs and spirituality over the year, and growing towards being more spiritual and connected, so to say, to source in your daily network, and finding a more emotionally fulfilling daily network, and cultivating your bliss by cultivating your words that you speak in your daily life, the people you surround yourself with on a daily basis, and potentially even stepping into more of a teacher role, whether that is through teaching, writing a book, or publishing content, or becoming a speaker. There is a focus on the words you speak, and you can experience massive changes in your network and personal beliefs in September when we have the eclipses in Pisces and in Virgo. Potentially some form of new beginning in your personal beliefs, in the ways you travel, and closing out of a cycle, a new beginning, a fulfillment and a reward in your daily network, in your way you communicate. If you've been writing a book, if you've been publishing content, if you are some sort of teacher or creator, you can experience a reward or fulfillment here, both a closing out and letting go of what no longer serves, and a fulfillment, a reward coming your way, something that you've worked on for roughly 6 months since we had the new moon in Pisces, I believe on February 27th, I want to say. But I don't remember the exact date of the new moon. Point being, for the last 6 months. And this also ties in so that you can create a new beginning in your personal beliefs and connect to what is a meaningful life for you. So that's what to expect with the lunar eclipse and solar eclipse in Pisces and in Virgo. Very big time for us all. Destined changes, destined shifts, destined events that likely will tie into the story that played out with eclipse season in March of 2025, specifically between March 14th roughly and March 29th. There could be more of a story unfolding here, or you could see some similar themes. So with that all being said, Capricorns, there's a lot to expect in your teachings, your beliefs, the words you speak, your personal beliefs, I will simply say, and also your relationships in the year ahead. Now, I want to take the last few minutes of this video to provide some practical tips for Capricorns to work with this energy that is present in the rest of 2025. First and foremost, tying into the fact that Jupiter enters Cancer, is cultivate your relationships starting in June. Make a priority for your one-on-one connections, as I think this is something you're going to feel very called to do, and look for how much emotional fulfillment you're gaining in this area of life. How can you expand upon emotional connection in your one-on-one relationships, both your friendships and your romantic relationships? I won't say necessarily business partnerships, because that seems a bit strange to say, but this could be a theme, is cultivating an emotional, supportive connection in your business partnerships as well. Secondly, I will say, with there being so much eclipse energy dominant, and given that the South Node is in Virgo, North Node is in Pisces, the next tip I will recommend is focus on the words being spoken. Throughout this entire year, ask yourself, how can I be more present in my daily communication? How can I focus on making people feel good? And how can I make myself feel good? Rather than thinking in terms of macro scale meaning, maybe the most meaningful thing you can do for yourself and towards others is to really be present in conversation and share from an emotional state of being. Share from a place of empathy, not sympathy, empathy. How can you relate to others? And I know Capricorns, you like to be so guarded and keep things to yourself and be practical, but maybe there's an empathetic style of communication that you're feeling called towards during this time, and that can be really helpful for you. So share, really. Share your words. Share and be present. Be present in the sharing process. Communicate, share, and surround yourself with a daily network where you feel this becomes easier to embrace. And finally, the last thing I will say is, playing into the South Node being in Virgo, ask yourself, how am I being too data-oriented or small-minded in my personal beliefs? How could I be less small-minded in my personal beliefs? How could I be less materialistic about my personal beliefs? What personal beliefs are no longer serving me, and how could these be potentially stemming from childhood? Those are the 3 tips I will leave Capricorns with for the year of 2025. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, let me know down in the comments below. Did this video resonate for you? Are you looking forward to the rest of 2025? Did you like this horoscope? Do you want me to continue making horoscopes for the upcoming month? Do you want a video talking about a specific transit? Just let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Please be nice if possible, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars and more. If you want to learn more about how this year or specific transits are going to play out for you based off of your personalized, unique birth chart, book a reading down in the link in the description box below, where in 1 hour we can dive deep into any and everything. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope that you enjoyed. Once again, my name is Isabel. From my heart to yours, namaste.